Hey everybody, I am coming making this video message and I want to tell you guys, don't ever allow anyone to invalidate your journey, your experiences, and your feelings. The reason why I'm making this video message is because us as individual women and men, we are going to have our own personal thoughts and feelings on various things. We are, as men and women, are also going to have our personal journeys. And sometimes when you are on your journey, certain people, they won't understand it. And they will even sometimes speak out about your journey, however it looks. And they will try to pass their opinion about what they feel or what they really believe your personal journey is. And what you guys have to understand is that when you have these different sentiments and feelings, or you even have different opinions, sometimes it will be in private and you will be comfortable enough to share it with certain people. Maybe out of frustration, you are sharing your personal opinion or sentiment on a relationship that you have with someone, and you're confiding in someone that you trust or you're comfortable with them, or that you feel like will understand where you're coming from. Even in that, you all need to know that certain people that you may be comfortable with or trust, or they are established in life, meaning they're not bumping around in the dark trying to truly figure out who they are, and you really know that they have a very tight relationship with God. You know for a fact they hear from God. You know for a fact they're not questioning what comes to their spirit. Even in that, when you talk to those types of people, some of them will try to invalidate your feelings. They will try to invalidate your journey and what they think your journey is. They will try to invalidate your experiences. Let me give you guys an example. Some of you all, you may have shared things that went on in your childhood, and you may feel a certain type of way about how your parents treated you or their lack of really being there for you in your time of need. You may share with somebody something that you're experiencing in your marriage. You may share with people what you're going through just in your life in general. Maybe at work, maybe with your children, maybe in the kingdom, as far as church goes or ministry work. You're just sharing with certain people how you feel about things, what you expect from people who say they love you, and the people that are connected to you. You may even share with people how your journey has been difficult. But there are some people who will try to invalidate those things about you. You will vent to somebody and they may say, well, why do you feel like that? That's not what the other person means. You're taking it the wrong way. You're being defensive. You're being sensitive. That's your assumption. When it comes to somebody trying to pretty much make it like you're crazy, you don't see what you see, you don't discern what you discern, you don't feel what you feel, or you're not on the right track as far as your journey goes, I'm telling you all in this video message, don't allow anybody to invalidate what you know is your truth. You don't allow it, because people are not in your shoes. They are not waking up and living the life that you are living, however it looks. And sometimes when somebody is not in your shoes and they have not gone through what you're going through, or they have never been through what you've already come out of, once you start to tell your story and talk about it, there are always going to be people in the background that want to invalidate it. They will try to call you every other name, or call your journey, your sentiments, thoughts, and feelings everything else except for the truth and what the fact of the matter is. And so today I want you all to know, anybody that wants to invalidate, let's just talk about your journey. Outside people, they don't know what God is doing with you. I've talked to you all about this before. When God is having you in a wilderness season, your wilderness reveals who you are, for those who don't know. Certain people, they go through different things in the wilderness, but for the most part, when God has you in the wilderness, you are finding out who you are. You are finding out your method of madness. You're finding out what makes you go off. You're finding out the beautiful things about you. You're finding out what's in you internally, because maybe you didn't know certain things were in you. And as you're fasting, as you're praying, as you're reading your word, as you're taking time out of your day to spend that extra time with the Lord, God will start revealing things to you. And don't get this twisted. When God reveals things to you, it's not always about other people. Sometimes when God reveals things to you, he's revealing things about you. It's not about other people. It's not about him giving you information and you feel like, I need to go prophesy now. I'm about to tell this word because God revealed this to me. No, ma'am, no, sir. Sometimes God reveals you to you because if you don't know who you are or what is inside of you, deliverance cannot come. You would still be walking around in some level of error, whether it's in ministry, how you teach, how you preach, or what you speak out against. Maybe God has to reveal certain things in your heart because it has started to damage, or all your life it has damaged very close-knit relationships that you had. Maybe you dated a person and you all really loved each other, but you broke up because there were flaws in your character and you didn't know at the time. But it has taken God to pull you into a wilderness season, and all of that alone time and that isolation that you have going on, you are starting to realize that it is a lot of toxic things within you. But let me tell you guys this, and a lot of you all, it's going to be an eye-opener for you. Immediately, you're going to feel a shift in your spirit. For some of you all, on that awakening spiritually, it is not a pretty awakening. It is not a pretty journey. You go through things. Sometimes the metamorphosis that comes behind what God is revealing about you or about your heart, it wears on certain people physically for a while. It's not permanent, but for a while, you may see people gain weight. You may see them lose weight. I've seen certain women, their hair sheds a lot because they become stressed sometimes once they find out certain things about themselves or certain things that was going on around them and they were kept in the dark. See, the enemy will hide things and you won't know about it. But when God gets you in that wilderness and you're in a quiet, secret place, God will start to uncover people. God will start to open up things. He will illuminate things. He will highlight things. And sometimes it is about other people or situations. Sometimes it's just strictly about you. All the ugliness, all the wickedness, all the immaturity, all of that, all of the stagnation, because sometimes you are your own worst enemy. All of this stuff starts to come to the surface and you're crying. Sometimes you have a lot of crying spells, and you go through these transitions where you just not feeling it, because when God reveals the truth to you, sometimes you get angry about it. You get angry about the fact that you didn't know something a long time ago, but now you're finding out about it. However it goes down, it's not going to always be a pretty picture. And so when outsiders looking in see you and they see your journey, they see that you're going to work, you're having trouble at work. Maybe you've gotten fired a lot. Maybe you've gotten put out of houses or apartments a lot, or you've always got into it with your landlord. Maybe you're getting into it with people in ministry. Things are just getting shaken up and tore down and broken up, and the path is crooked. And so outsiders, they will speak against your journey. They will, instead of looking at it through spiritual eyes, they will sit back and perceive it to be evil happening in your life and pinpoint and peg you as a bad person. They will look at you and say that you're a bad person, and that's why your life is the way that it is. This is why it's critical to have people connected to you that know God for real, They have a real prayer life. They have discernment, and they have ironed out a lot of issues in their character and even in their temperament. Because when people are doing and saying things and handling matters in their flesh, they will say all types of things to you. This is why I say you don't allow anybody to invalidate your feelings. People will try to shut down how you feel, and they will try to take that moment away from you and make it like it's something wrong with you, but it's nothing wrong with the other people you're explaining to them. They will say, well, you taking it the wrong way. Oh, give that person the benefit of the doubt. Oh, that's not what they meant. Oh, you tripping, you imagining that. Or they will punish you. They'll try to. Let me correct that. They'll try to punish you. And your feelings, they will say that you have those feelings and blame it on the struggles or the lack that you have been having in your life. You ever witnessed that, where you are getting your tail whipped just by God or spiritually, and people will try to use that against you, and God is breaking you down? Because keep in mind, we have to decrease as the Holy Spirit increases. Less and less and less of us has to be on the front line. And I mean that totally, in heart, character, spirit, and even deed. You can't be the star. Jesus has to be the star. He is the star. He is number one. He is the ruler and the head of your life, from the beginning, the middle, and all the way to the end. Okay? Even if you get sent to hell, Jesus is there with you. This is all biblical. But people will try to invalidate it, and they will blame the things that they see going on in your life. They will blame it on certain things you're going through. They will say, you being upset and you crying today, you acting like a baby because you just lost your job. You're being defensive because you and your husband or you and your wife are separated. Oh, you are making that assumption that that person doesn't like you, or that they're fake and phony because in the past you had a friend that double crossed you. So now you just got your eye paranoid, watching everybody. People will keep trying to invalidate how you feel. Certain ones will try to invalidate your journey, but your journey does not belong to other people. Your journey is not to be understood by other people. So if you are a man or woman today and you've been trying to break down and give a dissertation and explain to people your journey, if you feel like I have to fight to show people who I am, they don't understand what I'm going through, this is a spiritual awakening for me, God is just dealing with me, and it's just I'm not feeling it. Stop. Rest. Relax your spirit. Relax your mind. All you need to do is understand that you don't allow anybody to invalidate how you feel. In a moment when you feel some type of way about something, it's your right to feel that way. And until you get another perspective, or until God corrects you, or until you sit back and say, I had a bad day, I was overreacting, how dare anybody come to you and try to invalidate it? How dare anybody try to take your moment or your journey or your personal sentiments away from you, or make it like it's about them and it's not about you? You don't allow it. You being the man or woman that you are, and you feeling the way that you feel, that is actually what makes you the man or woman that you are. Now, when you have feelings that are false, and they are coming from assumptions, or they are coming from insecurities, or they are coming from a place of jealousy, if you're battling that, trust and believe that in your isolation and your wilderness, God is going to reveal these things to you. He's going to work them out. But if you are casually having a conversation with somebody, like I said, just because you trust them and you feel like they're a cool person and you can talk to them about certain things, but they try to shut down your feelings and they tell you that's not how that person is, they're out of order actually, because your personal experience with somebody else, if it was nobody else around, how can somebody tell you what somebody else did or didn't mean when it was aimed towards you in that moment? That's why I tell you all, don't allow anybody to invalidate your feelings. If you feel like you are about to have a breakthrough, if you feel like God is about to do something amazing in your life, you don't allow anybody to invalidate that. Now, I don't think it's wise to go and shout and tell people what God promised you. I don't think it's using wisdom to tell people what was prophesied to you if they were not around. That's not using wisdom. That's between you and God. However, if there are some people that you trust and you share with them what you're picking up in your spirit and what you feel or what you personally believe or think, ultimately, in the end, it will be between you and God. Because trust me, God will deal with you and correct you when you're wrong. God will humble you real quick when you are out of order and when you think you know it all, or when you are being a baby. I'm going to just tell you all the truth because God has dealt with me. When you being a baby and you being a spoiled little brat, God rest my mother and father's soul, but I'm not going to lie, my mother and father babied me. They coddled me a lot. I'm the only girl. I'm the youngest. I am the youngest of 3 brothers. Well, I have 2 brothers now. One is deceased for those who are new here. But I was the baby. So a lot of stuff with me was whining and just all of that. Throwing tantrums. And you know, sometimes when you the baby, they allow you to like be this way. Because you the baby. And then on top of that, I'm the only girl. So you know, when you the only girl, you get treated like the princess. You get treated like you a little doll, a Cinderella or something. But the reality is, when God got a hold of me, God was letting me know, yeah, that cute stuff is not going to work here. You need to take accountability and responsibility. So all I'm saying is that God will deal with you if you allow him to. Because some people, they know God is dealing with them, but they run from it. They run from it. They walk away from the faith. They walk away from God. They rule their own life and control their own life. So I'm not talking about you all. But those of you who have submitted your life to God and you want God's perfect will for your life, God will deal with you. But on that way, on the way to you getting dealt with, or on the way gradually, because sometimes God does not flood you with a whole bunch of truth. Gradually, in bits and pieces, God does things. He reveals things because he knows how much you can handle. For some people, he may reveal a lot to them because he knows mentally and spiritually they're stronger. He knows they're more mature. But for some of you all, you are very sensitive and really nothing can be said to you. Bit by bit, gradually, God will deal with you. But before you get to that place, you're going to come across people. You're going to talk to a family member. You're going to talk to a friend. You're going to talk to people that you trust and that you know. It may be somebody that you're dating, and you're going to share something that you came out of with them. You're going to share something that you're going through now. You're going to share how you feel. You may be in a setting, and you went to an engagement. Maybe you went to an event for single people. Maybe there's a training you had to go to at your job, and you all are having general conversation. Certain things kick off, and when you begin to just share various things about different things, there's always going to be somebody who tries to invalidate it. They will try to shame you and embarrass you for your feelings. People will look at your journey and what's going on when it's not really a pretty journey, and they will try to take something away from you, and they will blame you for a journey that they don't even understand God has you walking through. Don't allow them to invalidate it. Don't do it. Don't allow anybody to make it like how you feel about something. If your heart is seriously broken by somebody and they have made you cry, or they have abandoned you at some level, or people have betrayed you, don't you dare allow anybody to invalidate how you feel. This does not mean you go around making people feel guilty. It doesn't mean you go around making people feel like they're the scum of the earth. All I'm saying is that you don't allow, you don't allow anybody to invalidate it. How you feel is how you feel. How you think is how you think. What you've experienced is what you've experienced. And what you're walking through now is what you're walking through. All that correction, all the cleaning up, all the plucking up, all the building up, all the tearing down, every day you live and breathe. If you allow God, God's going to clean up and do all of that. He's going to sweep up the loose ends. And if you've been in error in how you felt about somebody or something, or your feelings and thoughts and sentiments on something were not right, you will find out when the time is right. You will find out in due time. This also doesn't mean that you reject hearing the opinion or the perspective of somebody else. But I'm saying, you all know when somebody is trying to invalidate how you feel. You know when somebody is trying to take a moment that's yours, whether you're venting or whether you're trying to open up about something. You know when they're trying to steal that moment from you and make it about them. They start talking about their life and they wipe yours out. The conversation is no longer about you and what you want to discuss. They make it about them. Don't allow it. You try to tell somebody you experienced something nasty at the hands of somebody else. You tell them, I got betrayed by this person offended me, this person hurt me, and they did it with they did it maliciously. Don't allow somebody to invalidate you and say, that's not what that is. You the one that's tripping. Sometimes you will directly go to a person that is hurting you or offending you, or you found out they've been doing some cutthroat things to you, and they will try to invalidate your feelings. They will try to make it like you're crazy. They will try to make it like you have an attitude problem. People hate the truth. People don't like to be confronted. And it doesn't matter how nice and sweet you are. They will try to invalidate it. You will show emotion. You won't be cussing anybody out or screaming and hollering, but you will be firm with somebody. And if you're a woman, somebody will say, well, are you on your period? What's going on with you? It has nothing to do with you being on your cycle. People will act like you just cannot show emotion, especially when you are a Christian woman. I don't even want to play the race card and say it's a black woman, black man thing, because the world does that enough. But I'm just going to throw every race in there. People out here will try to invalidate how you feel about something or your personal experience. And they will try to make it like you pulling straws. They will try to make it like you just making something up and you getting it off the top of your head. Or they will try to make it like you just being an emotional, overreacting person. No, your feelings, they are not going to be invalidated when you know the truth. When you know what you see. When you know what you feel, you know what you discern. You know what God told you. You know what God showed you. And for some of you all, as your feelings have been invalidated, you've seen what you feel and what you keep trying to speak on. You've seen a pattern of it with the same person. You've seen a progression of it. But that person will still try to invalidate your truth, or they will try to invalidate your feelings of it. Don't allow it. Don't allow it. Don't keep allowing people to break you down and make you small and make it like you're everything else besides a child of God because of how you feel, because of your experiences, and because of your journey. That's the video message. Well, guys, it's time for me to go because I have some other things to do. The Lord willing, I will be back with another video message. If any one of you have taken offense to anything I spoke about in this video message, it's okay. It's all right. I'm not worried about it. I am not concerned because I know you will forgive me in the morning.